Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome. As I said, this is our first time doing this in person and virtually. So we're working out some bugs, and thank you for being patient. I'm Lisa Twilley. I'm the director of the Women's Business Center at Maryland Capital Enterprises. Thank you all for joining us today on this beautiful day. I was like, is nobody coming because it's so nice outside? So I'm glad you guys got here, and it was perfect timing. So, but thank you all for joining us virtually as well. Just to give you some information about MCE, we are a nonprofit based in Salisbury with an office in Baltimore as well. We have been around since 1998. We assist entrepreneurs that are getting started in business or if they're already in business and trying to expand. We do business consulting, marketing consulting, business training such as this, and small business loans. So if we can assist you in any way, I've left my card on the desk, and I'll put my information in the chat as well for those of you that are online. But we'll just, I'm going to go ahead and let Danielle get started today. And then do you want to save questions for the end, or do you want to take a break in the middle, or how do you want to do it if anybody has any questions?
Yes, I have a little area for questions.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. So today we have Danielle Johnson here. I almost said Van Real. Danielle Johnson. She is the owner of the Platinum Gallery and Mira Salon based here in Cambridge. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about herself and go ahead and get started.
Hey.
Thank you, Danielle.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for coming out. It is a pleasure to be here today with Lisa, of course. Just a quick background, the Chamber, MCE, Women's Business Center, SBA, I definitely have to thank all of them for my entrepreneurship journey, to be honest, okay? I still utilize their services. I believe that in entrepreneurship, there's different phases, okay? You have your baby phase where you're, born, you created your business. You have your teenage phase where you're going through some bumps and lumps and all kinds of stuff. And then you have like your maturity phase. So I really believe this is my mature phase to where I'm able to assist others. I'm able to kind of share the things that I've been through and really support the people that supported me. So today is a thank you day to everyone because of my journey and where I see myself going in the near future. But I've been an entrepreneur for 17 years, and that's solely working for myself and no one else. And again, Lisa said, CEO of Mira Salon, also the Platinum Gallery, but I'm also COO of Johnson's Cleaning Services and the Car Cleaning King. All are companies that are still growing, that are still in existence, and we have future plans for other things that we want to do. So 17 years worth of knowledge, but definitely I can't say that I've reached my peak. Okay, so I'm still growing, still learning, and I'm here today to show you all how pretty much I think and how your journey is going to be unique, especially if you have something in mind that you want to cultivate and grow in. Okay, so today's topic is how to make six figures from, and I did say your hobby, but what you love to do. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. I do have a section where we're going to be able to ask questions and really get some honest answers. So feel free during that time to ask as many questions as needed. Okay. This over. Okay, so first we want to know, what is your hobby? So that's something to think about. Whatever it is that you are passionate about. I said hobby because a lot of people think of things that they do that they like to do. They think of it as just that. They don't think of it as something that they can monetize from, something that they could create an actual income from. So what is your hobby? I want you to be very clear, because a lot of times where you are thinking about going to the next step with something, you can confuse not only yourself, but other people. Brand confusion, marketing confusion, just confusion in every area. So I like to always say, be very clear. If you are an expert in creating some type of craft, narrow it down, be clear. Don't try to start new things as you're cultivating the things that you are already clear about. One thing at a time. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. So we all know that there's things that we need to work on. So during this time of cultivating, you want to know what your strengths are and then what your weaknesses are. If your strengths are clear and you know exactly what those things are, you should put more energy into your weaknesses and try to get those things up to par for your project. So definitely be clear and identify those strengths and weaknesses.
I think you can do that minimize.
That's what I was going to say. Okay. Next, you want to ask yourself the question, what do you really know about your product or service? So this is the research and development part. This is, to me, the most important part that people like to skip. This step is work. Am I right or wrong? This is not an easy step because you have to be honest. You have to actually snoop a little bit to see what everybody else is doing. You have to go into detail of what you are doing, what you're capable of providing. You want to also have your product tested and also by competent and neutral sources. A lot of times, say you're a great cook, right? Your family may just be used to your cooking, but it may not be great to everyone else. So have like neutral parties try and test whatever it is that you want to sell or whatever service it may be. Okay, next, with technology, the location can be, think outside the box. It does not have to be an actual storefront. Are you going to be online only? At the very bottom, we have a picture that shows like a flea market setting. Okay, there's different ways to sell online. And of course, a storefront is always nice, but that may not be feasible for someone who is only going to conduct business on the weekends, who's only going to partake in, what do we say, the online sales or even like the vending opportunities. I know with the Platinum Gallery, with my other business, I don't have a storefront per se, but I do have an office. I do sell online. So there's different things that you could do depending on what product or service that you will be rendering. Okay, next, do you need help? This is another big one. Okay, because when it's about the things that we love doing, sometimes it's hard to ask for help. We think we may know the ins and outs, but when you get the second opinion, when you have organizations like MCE, the chamber, people that's going to actually help you and assist you, they're giving honest opinions. They've been through this. They've been, I guess, through the try and testing process with other businesses, and they know what they are talking about. So really think about your all-star team. I like this picture at the top, the upper left, because that's actually how Johnson's Cleaning Services and the Car Cleaning King came about. It was over a dinner. We sat down and my question was, because I was always being entered into these projects, okay? We know how spouses are, they come up with these bright ideas. But with my knowledge, I knew that if my husband was serious about what he wanted to do, I knew deep down inside that we could take it to the next level. Okay, so I wanted to know if he was committed, if he was, going through a phase. When you're in your 40s, sometimes people say you go through a midlife crisis or something. So I didn't know what he was really up to, but he was already doing some things on the side. And we actually planned Johnson's Cleaning Services and the Car Cleaning King over a dinner. Okay, so know who's on your team. Also, your personal network, those are people that you personally know. Still maybe your family and friends, but also people that you may hang out with that you've known for years. And then at the very bottom, we have the professional services, the professional network, and then the professional organizations. And some of those are individualized, but when we talk about professional services, I'm mainly talking about the accountants, the lawyers, the insurance people. Okay, so those are very specific. Depending on which industry you are in, those people are going to kind of guide you through each level. Okay, if you're doing something on the weekends and your liability is not as high, you may not need certain types of insurance. You may not need to have certain paperwork versus someone that is over here with a storefront. You know, someone could come in there and, you know, render a service and get hurt or whatever. So it depends on your personal situation, but your professional network, your professional organizations, think of those people as, again, the SBAs, the chambers, the people that are giving out awards in your community that's acknowledging you, people that have your best interests at heart. Okay, the other thing that a lot of people like to skip is when you talk about the market. You know, we want to think that our product or service is for everyone. We all want to think that. But in reality, when we come back to Earth, our product and service is not going to be for everyone. I learned the hard way with the Platinum Gallery. Like, I was just so excited. I was gung-ho. I wanted everyone to love what I produced because I just like producing journals and, you know, Excel spreadsheets, and I wanted to do custom work. But then I got the realization that my products and my services are a specific product and service for a specific group of people. Okay, so today, 10 years later, this is actually 11 years later, I know today that my products and services are for the micro business, which is 10 employees or less. Also, mainly women, 75% of my clients will be women. Also, another thing about my clients would be that they are either a serial entrepreneur or they have just several things going at one time. So they need to simplify their life. So my products are for those people. And I could go on and on because I did my research and now I know. Okay, so who is your ideal customer and why? If you can't figure out why they will be your ideal customer, then something is not going to work. Again, I said my why is because they need to simplify their lifestyle. They need spreadsheets and different things to keep them on track. So your service should really create a solution to whatever problem your market is going to be. Okay, next is branding and marketing. Okay, so in order to go to this step, you have to know who your target market is. Okay, so that's why this is right afterwards. So when we talk about branding and marketing, this can be very confusing to not just the person that's getting started, but confusing as you go along. Because your brand, when we created the character for the Car Cleaning King, when we created the logo for Johnson's Cleaning Services, we knew distinctly who we were going to try to target. We knew who our clients were going to be. So the look of that, we wanted corporate accounts. So we knew we had to have a clean, smooth, sleek look. We didn't want to go with a lot of colors, a lot of, you know, activity. We wanted everything nice and clean. So that was creating the brand for Johnson's Cleaning Services. Now, the Car Cleaning King is actually the opposite of that. The Car Cleaning King was a character that I created that was based off of my husband. The character is actually him with a vehicle, a car. I should have had the picture up here. But he's the character. And I wanted to portray fun, whimsical, colorful, bright, all of those things. So the colors that was chosen, the strategies that was chosen, how we actually market is totally different from our other brand, which is Johnson's Cleaning Services. So that's something you have to think about in order to connect with your target audience. We have to connect with them. Okay, marketing. What is your marketing strategy? A lot of times we start these projects and we don't have any strategy. Even though some of these things may sound a little complicated, these can be written down. Like your marketing strategy can be on one piece of paper. And your strategy should consist of what your niche is going to be. What are you doing different? Are you producing items in a timely manner? So your niche is your fast service. Are you operating with the spirit of excellence? Are you, like, whatever it may be? If you're a cook, you're cooking for someone who may be vegan, so you don't use any meats and byproducts and things like that. That's your target. So your niche should always be obvious. Okay, so earlier we talked about the 6 figures. And a lot of times people look at the big number and they get intimidated. All of our brands, except for one, because when I say part-time, it's a very part-time brand, but all of our brands make this well over this. One of our brands is actually $1 million business. Okay, so 6 figures is something that is not really hard to do. If you look at how I broke it down, it's not exact because of course we have more than this I believe this is about 48 weeks, the numbers. I did give everyone time, to take a vacation or something. So I left a few weeks off. But when you look at how much money it is per day that you have to do, okay, so this is about a 7-day period. So which means if you work for 5 days, you would just have to divide it into 5 days. So $300 would be for 7 days for 48 weeks. Okay, so of course, if you work less, 5 days, it would be a little bit more. If it's a weekend, because I've hit these numbers per week in 1 day. With the Platinum Gallery, if I actually go to a big trade show, I did plenty of hair shows and things like that. I could do this in 1 day, selling my products. Okay, so that means if the trade show was for 3 days, I may not do this every single day, but I can do probably two weeks worth of work over that period of time in 3 days. So you have to know your product. You have to price it accordingly because my products averaged about $45 per product. That's the average. That's the mean. So that means if your product is $10, you have to sell more. You have to come up with another strategy. You have to upsell. So when your clients are purchasing something or a service, you have to ask them, okay, well, this right here fits what you're looking for. This may complement this other product that you have already purchased. Let's get those upsells. Okay, so think about that. $300 per day to get to that 100,000. Everyone should be breathing a sigh of relief right now because they're seeing that it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. So these are some of the products that I have created. Actually, one of them, and this is an appointment book ledger to keep track of everything. So those people who vend on the weekends, those people who don't really need a major system in place to keep track of everything, this is ideal for them. Okay, so the mother that may be busy, the father who may only have the weekends to do whatever it is that he do on the side, this is for them. Because no matter what you do, you still have to keep track. Many people hit the 100,000 and don't know it because they don't keep track. And I know Lisa, with clients coming in every day, you may see certain things that you know are red flags, but sometimes you want to stay in your lane and you would advise and you assist, the best way you can. Okay, but we got to keep track of things. Okay, and next, these are photos. I didn't mention I'm also a mentor for Project Opportunity, which is I'm a veteran. So Project Opportunity, they have other veterans mentor veterans that are wanting to start a business or some type of project, organization. So this is one of my mentees, Pandora. She's from, I believe, Bethesda. She's across the bridge. But she just had her grand opening. She has a home interior design business. And plus, she's actually coming up with a product line. My thing is, if I'm going to be your mentor, you have to have a product and service. I'm sorry. That's just a product and a service. So if you have a service-based business, we're going to come up with some kind of product to sell. If you have a product-based business, we're going to come up with some kind of service to render to your clients. And yes, all of my businesses, we're in the early phases of creating some products, but you'll be seeing some things eventually when it comes to the car cleaning king and the Johnson's cleaning services. But how to get started? This is from SBA's list. I go off of my mentors, you know, the standard. This is the standard. So there may be some steps like in between that you may need to take. Some of these, you know, some people may not need number 3, funding. Most of our businesses were low startup costs, so we just saved money and started. We didn't want any overhead. Luckily, I am proud to say that we became personally debt-free about a year ago, so we owe no debt personally. Yes, but also, which is a bigger accomplishment, all 4 of our businesses are also debt-free. Yes, so it is possible. I'm a walk-in testimony that it's possible. Okay, so choosing the legal structure, choosing your business name, register your business, get federal and state tax IDs, apply for licenses and permits, and then open a business bank account. So that's how you would actually go. And most of these things are in order. So if you don't write your business plan first, and then you're trying to seek funding, that may not work because everyone asks for a business plan, no matter how small or how large of the amount that you need, they're going to ask for that. Also, certain things like get your federal and state tax IDs, and also the business legal structures. If you do some of those things out of order, sometimes they'll start mailing you things for your taxes. Like it just becomes a headache. So you want to complete some things and then go to the next thing. Okay, so at this time, I am open for questions. If there are, I'm gonna keep this up for 1 second. I didn't know if we need to go back for anything, but were there any questions about the slides first?
Yeah, can you go back to the one that you were talking about with the strategy, the business logo,
The branding and marketing?
brand, yeah.
Yes.
So basically, when you're talking about creating a brand, all that goes into that. You have your trust, design, your strategy, marketing, logo.
And more, yes. And more. People think of a brand and they think of a logo. They think of maybe, let's say, for example, a McDonald's M,
Right.
you know, they think of that. But your brand can be how you make a person feel. Your colors, okay? If you want to create an earthy, calming feel, will you use black and white? No, you're going to use earthy colors. You're going to use browns. You're going to use, look, I received Bontinia. This is your brochure, right? And I looked at her products, and guess what? Her brochure goes with it. She has earthy colors. Everything looks natural tones. It goes together. So I immediately complimented her on her brochure. She stuck to the plan. You stuck to your brand. So that's research. Because again, that was one of the first things I said, research and development. So your brand is how you make people feel, how you want them to see your business. Like some people should be the face of their business, and then other people should not be the face of their business. Okay, so if you're creating products for maybe say children and you're an old man, I mean, I'm going extreme, but I just want you to get a visual. You may not want to be the face of your business. You may want to enlist your grandchild to be the cute, face that's happy and jolly and, that kind of thing. So branding, you really have to think. It's going to really force you to think about who your target market is. It's going to force you. And if you see, I have one circled, I have one with an X, and I have 2 question marks. So I'm not sure what the golfer and the mommy with the baby may need, that the ones that circle may need also. But I circled the one because this is the target. These are the people that I want to actually target with my product. But you should know distinctly who you want to purchase your product or service. The X is totally out. That's not going to be the group that I'm targeting. The golfer has a question mark, so that person may purchase, but I'm not guaranteed that they're going to purchase. And then also with the question mark is the other one. So those are things you have to consider and be honest about. Okay, any more questions about the slides? I'm gonna take the slides down. So chat. Nope, they can hear it
I
now.
have a question, sorry, my name is Maria, everybody, hello. I have a question, I don't think but it's not something that you went over, so I don't wanna skip ahead if you have another set for the presentation.
What was that?
I said I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
I don't wanna skip over if you have some.
Oh, no, that's pretty much,
later. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I had a question about like competition in your market. So I am a nail technician, but my niche area, I specialize in gel X extensions, which I know around here is not a well-known nail type yet. A lot of people do acrylic and all that kind of stuff. And so what I've noticed in being in this area, and I've only been over here for about a year, is that there are a lot of nail salons, but there aren't, like, for example, salon suites, right? Where, across the bridge, there are tons of them. And so it's about, and I find that the competition in this market is mostly like acrylic nail shops and things like that, or home-based businesses. So my question is, how do you deal with, especially when you're in the early parts of building your brand and your and your business, competition in your local market, and then if you have any advice on growing clientele in a new market, because this is new for you, new market.
Right. So first thing, competition. That's where your niche is going to come in at, but also you have to stand on what you know. Continue to grow in that field. Continue to educate yourself. People are going to like people for their personalities, for the environment that they're in. What type of environment are you placing your clients in? So like with my ladies, I apprentice a few. I have a nail tech right now, and you have to create what you want to create. So yes, you could say, do this or try this to build your clientele. But the thing is, once you get that person in a seat, they could either be there that one time or they could be there with you for life, forever. Because I have some clients, like, they like, if you move, I'm moving. Like, so think about your clientele. Again, your target market. My target market with my clients are the ladies that are over 40, between 40 and about 55. They're usually other bosses. My ladies, we're talking about starting businesses while they're in my seat. We're talking about, what we're going to cook, how we're going to make our families healthier. We have the same common interests. So eventually, whatever your niche is going to be, you're going to just you're going to attract those people. Yes, and the second part was
growing clientele in the market.
Right, growing clientele, and that piggybacks off of the competition. You just have to do the regular strategies, business cards, social media. You have to do the normal things, but networking. But as you get those people in your chair, you could get them there, but how are you going to keep them? I'm big on keeping them. So I hope that answered your question. And what was the other one you said? Was there another question? Okay. Any other questions? Is there a chat box? I don't see a chat box.
They can just unmute if they like.
Yeah.
Yes, you could unmute if you have a question. Any other questions here in the room?
I think we're good. I like how you broke down the, the numbers, because people
Yes.
don't always think about that. How, oh, wow, $300 a day, I can do that,
Right.
So I think it's good to, put that, that you pointed that out to us. That's great.
And once you start hitting your targets, I'm big on goals.
Mhm.
You have to set goals, small goals. Once you hit it, you have to increase that goal. You have to increase. And the only way you're going to do that is to really stretch yourself, to create your all-star team. Again, we have like some really big cheerleaders rooting us on, different organizations, different people, but everything that you need is in you. Like, I don't need someone to light my fire and say, you're doing good today. Let's do this. I don't need motivation. I wake up every day and I motivate myself. That's just how it is. So a lot of times our confidence, a lot of times those inner things in us is the only thing that's keeping us back. People will trust you if you show up on time, you do what you're supposed to do. Your product or service may not be the best. To be honest, I think someone down the street from me could do a wet set. There's 4 other salons on the same street. But, integrity goes a long way. Honesty goes a long way. Respecting people's time and being courteous. And I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, no one can duplicate you. So I just believe on standing on what you know, definitely integrity, definitely those things that you want to base your business off of, the foundation. And the people that you attract, such as clients, employees, you're going to eventually have to hire someone. If you're a nail tech, you may eventually need an assistant. You can only do but so many clients in one day. How can you be $1 million nail tech? It's actually possible. Yeah, you could do your services, but guess what? If you sell a product online, there we go with the product. You sell a product online and now you're global. People are purchasing your 1 or 2 products. People are actually becoming millionaires off of one product. Who see those commercials on social media or different? Because I'm big on it. Like, I have the massager thing that go like this. I have all kinds of little gadgets, but these companies come up with one great product and they just market this one product. And guess what? They're millionaires overnight. Usually around this time of year, like the holiday season, you'll start seeing a lot of those. So we just need to tap in. And sometimes it's not even on a big scale. You just got to tap in and just get in the game. You just do it. Just do it. Any questions? Yes.
What if you choose wrong? Like your brand, say instead of the neutral colors, she did pastels or neon colors, and it's totally off brand. And even though you like it, it's something that no one else is enjoying.
That's a great question.
How do you rebrand yourself?
Guess what? It's never too late. As soon as you think, as soon as you're advised that something is off, start the process. It may not be overnight, but we've rebranded. We've done that already. And actually, one of my brands, I had to rebrand twice. So that's a great question, because some people think, oh, because this logo was what I started with, they're like married to the logo, but it don't make any sense. So we have to come to reality and be like, okay, to take my brand to the next level, this is where I want to be in 5 years. So I'm going to have to get this together. I'm going to have to consult MCE, because I believe one of my rebrands for the Platinum Gallery, I believe I contacted Lisa, and yes, yes. And she put me in touch with someone. And like I said, just growing pains, with business, you have to grow, you have to learn, but I don't believe it's a wrong and right way to do things. But when it comes to branding, times change, things change, technologies change. And even with the major brands that you see, some people have changed their logos over the years. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of major name companies have changed their brand in some kind of way. And that's just really keeping up. So as soon as you realize that something needs to be changed, come up with a plan. Now, don't just go changing it because, again, we got to do things in order. Why are you changing it? How you're going to change it? What needs to be changed? Like, don't just go and change it, but ask yourself those questions. Are there any other questions?
Me again.
Yes.
All right, so in these steps that you gave, business plan, opening the bank account, getting it, when you're selecting a business name, should you, like, if the young lady is doing nails, so should her business say such and such nails, or should you pick if she wants to grow with a product or something, or do a salon, should a name be specific, or should it be I won't say a neutral name, but kind of a name you can grow into?
Well, that's like pretty much a research development kind of thing, because your name can make or break you. Again, your target market, who are you targeting? Okay, if you're trying to target upscale, classy woman, what is the name going to be? How is it going to sound? How is it going to roll off the tongue to be like serious?
Because there's some businesses that have a name and it has nothing to do with what they do.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I would never have known you did.
Right.
Because it's not relatable at all.
Exactly.
It's not relatable.
Well, my name's Kaylee. So if I wanted to start my own business and I did Kaylee Incorporated, you know, and then as I got going, I decided to do, you know, this brand and this brand off of the original brand. So should my original brand be simple so that I could branch off with other things, other logos, or should it be a big logo? You know what I mean? Should it be a big company logo,
Right.
other
And
logos?
that's kind of where your team come into play,
Yeah.
because your team will advise you on your journey.
Okay.
So if you say in 5 years, I plan on having this product line, these services, and you're conveying that to them, and then you have your, who did I say, your accountant, your insurance person, all those people for the background stuff, everything has to come together and make sense. So it's not just the name. Can your name offend someone? You really have to think. So it's always good to run these ideas past professionals.
So that goes back to the business plan, where your business plan
Right.
is and how you want to divide.
Have someone look it over, just to throw out your thoughts, because it may be something that's very striking that could work, but the right person has to hear it. You know, they have to really get with you on whatever your thoughts are.
I remember when Danielle first started the Platinum Gallery and you came to MC, to the Women's Business Center, and she brought this big manual and she's like, Lisa, I need you to read over all of it. She said, I need you to look to make sure, you know, the verbiage is correct and every little word. So I went through this thing every day. You know,
Oh, Lord.
and I go through every word. But I mean, it's important. It really is important. And she's a perfectionist, so she wanted to make sure it was perfect and right, and that's great. That's awesome. But there's the little fine details that you have to have somebody look at and help you with.
Yes.
So.
And it just goes to show you, because I have great clients. I have not done any major advertisement or anything, economic development. I have nonprofits that have hired me to create their custom products. So fortunately, Rich Lafler was, before I created my very first ledger, I went to SBA, Rich Lafler, he's the rep here. He actually advised me, I believe it was in 2011. And I launched my business in 2012. But I went to Rich because I knew he was big on numbers.
Yeah.
Like, people in my network, I know who to go to. Okay. I know the people that, because I do a lot with words and writing and things like that. So I need I have a person for grammar that I call upon, like when there's things that I'm kind of like just unsure about. I have a person when it comes to my numbers, an accountant. I have someone that I call for legal matters. So you have to build your own personal network. So when I went to Rich, he was like, "You're missing something," and that's how I came up with some items on the back of my book, because he's like, "Well, what about how they going to keep track of other numbers and things like that?" So Rich Lafleur is the one to actually help me end my, because I'm like, this, I don't want to just end it and it's just flatline. You know, they plotted everything all year, but he's like, they need to track this. They need to, so this is all Rich Lafleur right here. Expense sheets and all kinds of stuff in one book. But again, that's where your all-star team comes in at. And depending on whatever your product and service is, you have to create your team. And these organizations are here as part of your team. Like, this is what they do. Everyone that I have come in contact with here at the chamber, with MCE, Women's Business Center, SBA, they are passionate about what they do. And I'm passionate about what I do. So when you have all these passionate people together, you create some great things, great products and services. Okay, so we are winding down.
No more questions?
No more questions? Lisa, did you have anything?
No, I'm good. Does anybody online have any questions? Amanda, do you want to add anything? I know that you are a successful business owner yourself and have used a lot of these same services, SBDC, SBA, MCE, Women's Business Center. Do you want to add anything?
Nothing really to add, just to
One second.
One second, let me turn it up.
Is it?
If you can turn it up a little bit.
Okay, this is.
There's up 34.
okay, can you hear me okay?
Hold on one second. She's working on it.
I see it say 34.
Oh,
There we go.
oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Drag it. Okay, Amanda.
Okay, hi. Nothing really much to add, but just to piggyback off of what Danielle is saying, everything in regards to, knowing, who to go to, especially in our community business network. We do have a really good and genuine pool of people to go to, but one thing that I will say is, you have to, when you go to them, you have to come to them from a place of clarity. You really have to know what it is that you're seeking to accomplish, what you want, out of the transaction with them. And because they can only help you from, where you're coming to, what you're giving them. They can't, do anything beyond that. So mindset is everything, clarity, and just being willing to have patience with yourself and them while you're navigating the process.
That is
Great.
good. That
Yes.
is good. Yeah, because we kind of touched a little on that clarity, but that's key. Because you can have some, like, people sometimes when they're explaining their business, sometimes I get really confused. I may have someone come and they're like, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. This is, and I'm like, I don't know what you do. It's not clear to me.
Yeah.
It's not clear. So that clarity part, like really clamping down and saying, I'm going to offer this product, and maybe later I'm going to offer this line and add to my services. Like, just really go in phases and steps.
And that ties back to your business plan, because
Right.
a lot of people come to us and they have all these ideas in their head, but they really struggle getting them onto paper.
Right.
And so, but just being clear, this exactly in your executive summary, your steps that you want to take, and what your business is going to be about, and how you're going to go about getting there, how you're going to market it when you get to the marketing
Right.
section, things like that. So that's why the business plan is so important.
Right. And don't let the business plan intimidate you. I had to go back because there was one of my brands that didn't do a business plan initially, and it's a headache to try to backtrack. So even if you're not seeking capital, everyone needs a business plan to run your business.
Right.
Yes, it could be on a nice, cute journal that you purchase, but it don't have to be a typed up 20-something page document. It just the key elements so that when you are stumped, when you just are like, I depleted everything. I did this, I did that. You could go back to your plan and say, wait a minute, I didn't do this. I didn't stick to this. Let's revamp. Let's go back to the plan and figure it out.
Right. I always say it's a working document. It's going to change.
Yeah.
So it's good to be able to pull it out. And I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do this now. I'm not going to do that anymore because that didn't work. So
Right.
you're constantly going to be using that document and updating it.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Danielle. We appreciate
You are so welcome. Thank you all.
And if you'll pass your stuff around that you have here, your journal and stuff. There, samples there. Thank you guys for joining us online as well. I'm gonna put or get Danielle to put her contact information in the chat. And I'll put mine in here too. Most of you probably have mine, but that way you'll see it again. Please reach out to us. Also, if you'd like to be added to our newsletter list, just send me an email and we can add you to that so you'll know about when events are happening. Can't do two things at once here. I'm typing. So also we have a women's business conference. Our annual women's business conference is every year in March at the Civic Center in Salisbury. And this year it is March 15th. So mark your calendars now. I'm giving you plenty of notice. Danielle has been a speaker with us and actually we did a fashion show. She was one of our models for the fashion show.
That was fun.
Yeah, she's been a vendor. Her and her husband are sponsors of the conference. So we appreciate that. And so yeah, everybody mark your calendars for the March 15th. And I think Amanda's also been a panel speaker before for our conference or one of our, but that's when we did our virtual conference, right, Amanda? Yeah. So we're happy to have them.
Did you say it's in Salisbury or you said it's virtual? Sorry.
It's in Salisbury in person at the Civic Center.
Okay.
Yep. And it's 9 to 3. It's an all day conference. We have keynote speakers. We have, different activities going on. We have lots of vendors. It's great energy, all women. That's a lot of positive energy in the room. And we have door prizes throughout the day. We have a cupcake raffle for a chance to win some fine jewelry. So it's exciting.
My door prize is still hanging up on my front door.
All right. Oh yeah. Did you get a wreath?
I got a wreath.
Oh, that's right. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna cut out of here. Thank you again for joining us. Hope we'll see you next time too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Let's see.
The owl gets you every time.
I know.